Welcome to the wrench series. Okay? Our series work is designed to aid in teaching techniques of a similar type and putting them into an organization that makes sense. Okay? So the first one we're going to start with is the wrench. So whenever Christiana feeds me an angle 1, if you remember from your unarmed defenses and such earlier, that this is the wrench. Okay? So this is going to be the basis for all the other following techniques. So both an overhut, okay? She gives me an overstitch. I block by stepping off to the 45 here, wrenching to the side, and I'm going to strike from here. So from here, she feeds 1, 2, and boom. The good thing about the wrench series is it's easy to go back and forth. So she would feed me, boom, and then I'd feed her. Boom. Now, I can work on some different footwork, such as pulling, going off to the side, there you go, or even horizontal, okay? But it's all within the purview of the strike, okay? So that's number 1. Number 2 is if Christiana gives me a strike, and let's say I step back, stepped out, or she just didn't get pulled along, I can't hit her torso, okay? So instead I'm going to take the only thing that's available to me, which is the arm. Now, I don't like to stab next to my hand because that's risky, but I would like to stab into the joint of the elbow. Now, this also crosses over with another thing, okay? Dagger is pervasive with wrestling, but also in harness affected. So if Christiana was to fire, and she's wearing plate armor, the elbow joint is where she's vulnerable. So I would dig the dagger into this section right here to be able to harm her. Now I feed her. Boom. 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 Just like that, okay? So first one was a strike to the torso, second one is a strike to the arm. Now the next one is going to be as if the strike to the arm has failed, okay? So as Christiana fires, I catch, I go to strike her arm, and it misses and goes over the top, okay? So whenever it does that, one of 4 things is going to happen. If I hold her elbow still and I push on her hand, her elbow is going to pop, okay? If my hand stays still and I pull with the dagger, her shoulder gives, okay? If neither one gives and as I pull, it's going to cause her to go to a knee, which then I could pull out and fire, okay? The 4th and final thing, which is what we're going to practice, is as she fires, I go here, I catch. As I hook over, I'm just simply going to disarm her. Let's see that again, okay? So I catch, I fire in at her arm, but I miss, I go over the top, and I strip the dagger out. Now, as you notice, I'm just using one hand. So watch as Christiana does it, okay? So I go here, boom, she goes over the top and strips it out on her body. Both are valid ways of taking the dagger out. So she fires at me, I catch, strip it, hand it back. I fire at her, she catches, strips, takes it out. Mm-hmm. And like such, okay? So, first one, strike the torso, second one's the arm. The third one, we call this one actually a short figure 4, because if she didn't have a weapon and I was to do this, this is a figure 4 lock. Since I can't tuck my hand behind there, this is a short figure 4 lock, okay? So, the next one is, as I catch here and I go over, one of 2 things has happened. One, I've disarmed her. We're going to pretend that that one can happen on its own. But for this one, she's going to pick her point up like such as I bring it through. Now, as she does that, I'm going to follow that up by stepping in front of her and loading her onto my shoulder for a vertical arm break. Let me emphasize this. This is an arm break. It is not designed like in a lot of jiu-jitsu circles. When you apply a lock, you would go slowly until they tapped, okay? This was not designed for that. This was designed for as soon as I got it, I brought it up, and I would snap it, okay? So, with that being said, as Christiana feeds, I go here. As I go over and I bring it down, she lifts her point. I bring it through with the passing. I step in the middle. I've twisted her arm. I place it on my shoulder, and that's it. If I was going to a lock, I would just simply pull it down until she tapped, and then I would release. But for practice purposes, as she fires, I would catch, I would go over, I'd step in the middle, and that's it, okay? So we're going to go back and forth with this one. There you go, over, and go. And time. Okay, so that's the 4 basic ones in the wrench series. Go practice that. We'll have more for you later.